Have you ever wondered about the intricate dynamics of international politics, or pondered over how nations prioritize their diplomatic agendas? Let's dive into the fascinating world of geopolitics, where every decision can tip the scales of power. Our focus today is on the Philippines, which currently holds the chair of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or ASEAN, a position of considerable influence and responsibility. The top priority on their agenda, the establishment of a South China Sea Code. Now, this might sound like jargon, but it's essentially a set of rules aiming to prevent conflicts in the contested waters of the South China Sea, a strategic and resource-rich region claimed by several nations. The ASEAN chair plays a pivotal role in fostering dialogue and cooperation among member states. At the same time, it must navigate the complex web of regional and global politics. And in this case, the Philippines finds itself in a delicate dance with China, a major player in the South China Sea disputes. Interestingly, Chinese President Xi Jinping hasn't visited Manila, the capital of the Philippines, since 2018. However, he recently received an invitation from the Philippines, though with certain conditions attached. The nature of these conditions remains undisclosed, but it's clear that the two nations are delicately balancing their mutual interests with their respective national priorities. So what does this mean for the broader geopolitical landscape? And more importantly, what could be the implications of this strained relationship on international politics? The answers to these questions aren't straightforward, and the stakes are high. Keep watching until the end for the answer. And while you're here, do hit the subscribe button and give this video a like. Stay tuned as we unravel the complexities of this geopolitical chess game. Now, shifting gears to a more personal aspect of politics, the unspoken cues and gestures. Politics, as we know, is not just about policy and diplomacy. It's also about the subtle art of body language, the silent messages that are often louder than words. Picture this: a moment frozen in time, captured by a Filipino photographer. The setting: a meeting between Chinese President Xi Jinping and a Filipino official, an image that was quickly shared on the world's largest stage, social media. Now, what's interesting here is not just the image itself, but the interpretations that followed. The Philippine president saw this interaction as a gesture of common courtesy, a simple yet profound act of respect between two nations, two cultures, and two individuals. It was a moment that, according to the Philippine president, embodied the spirit of mutual respect that should underline all international relations. But wait a minute. What if we told you that not everyone saw it that way? Yes, you heard it right. The reaction, or rather the lack of it, from the Chinese officials was rather intriguing. They did not publicly acknowledge the gesture. It was as if the moment, captured for the world to see, was somehow lost in translation. This raises a few questions, doesn't it? Why the silence? Was it an oversight or a deliberate choice? Could this silence be a reflection of the underlying tensions between the two nations? Or could it be a strategic move, a part of a larger political game? However, Chinese officials did not publicly acknowledge it. What could this silence signify? Could the answer to this question reveal a deeper, more intricate layer of international politics? Well, only time will tell. For now, let's delve deeper into the silent tug of war that seems to be unfolding between these two nations. In the world of politics, silence can often speak volumes. So what does the seemingly unacknowledged gesture between Chinese President Xi Jinping and a Filipino official tell us? Could it be a mere oversight or a deliberate act of diplomacy? Let's dive in. Now, we've all heard that actions speak louder than words, but in the realm of international relations, the absence of action can sometimes scream the loudest. It's a delicate dance of subtle cues and unspoken messages. So, when Chinese officials did not publicly acknowledge the interaction between Xi and a Filipino official, it made quite a statement. It's like a silent tug of war, where both parties pull at the rope of power, but no one dares to speak about it. So, why did this happen? Well, one could argue that it's a sign of strained relations. After all, the Philippines' top priority as the ASEAN chair is to establish a South China Sea Code, which could potentially challenge China's territorial claims in the region. This might not sit well with Chinese officials, or perhaps it's simply a case of misunderstood etiquette. Could it be that the Chinese officials viewed the gesture as a common courtesy, much like how the Philippine president described it, thus seeing no need to publicly acknowledge it? However, we must remember that in politics, every move and every silence is calculated. The lack of public acknowledgement from China could be a strategic move, a silent protest against the Philippines' priorities as the ASEAN chair. Or it could be a sign of a larger, more complex geopolitical game at play, where silence is used as a tool to assert dominance, express dissatisfaction, or maintain a strategic ambiguity. But regardless of the reasons behind this silence, one thing is clear. It has potential implications. It could influence the dynamics of the South China Sea dispute, impact the ASEAN's unity, or even reshape the future of China-Philippines relations. Could this silence be a sign of brewing tension or just a simple misunderstanding? It's a question that remains unanswered, a mystery that adds to the intriguing world of international politics. And as we continue to watch this silent tug of war, we can't help but wonder, what will the next move be? To truly understand the gravity of this situation, we must look at the bigger picture. What we're witnessing here is not just a simple diplomatic dance between two nations. This is a strategic maneuver, a silent game of chess being played on the vast board of the South China Sea. The Philippines' priority as the ASEAN chair to establish the South China Sea Code is not just about maintaining regional harmony. It's a bold stand against territorial aggression, a move to establish a rule-based order in a region fraught with contestations. China's non-acknowledgement of the gesture made by the Filipino official, on the other hand, is not mere diplomatic indifference. It's a subtle hint of the underlying tensions, a silent message that echoes across the corridors of power in both nations. In the grand scheme of things, this seemingly small interaction is a microcosm of the larger geopolitical dynamics at play. It's reflective of the complex interplay of power, sovereignty, and diplomacy that shapes the political landscape of the region. But this is not just about the Philippines and China. It's about ASEAN as a whole. The unity and strength of ASEAN hinge upon its ability to manage such complexities and uphold regional stability. The South China Sea Code is not just a document, it's a testament to ASEAN's commitment to peace and cooperation. However, the question remains, how will this diplomatic tension between China and the Philippines influence the future of ASEAN and the South China Sea? Will it lead to a more assertive stance on territorial disputes, or will it push for greater diplomatic dialogue? But how could this play out in the future? Stay tuned as we delve deeper. As we peer into the future, uncertainty is the only certainty. The relationship between China and the Philippines, like any geopolitical relationship, is a dance of diplomacy, power plays, and mutual interests. The South China Sea Code, a symbol of regional stability and cooperation, hangs in the balance. What might this future hold? One possible scenario suggests an amicable resolution. The two nations might find common ground, bolstering their ties while establishing a framework for the South China Sea that is agreeable to all ASEAN nations. This would be a testament to the power of diplomacy and the strength of regional unity. However, there's another possibility. Tensions might escalate, pushing the two nations further apart. The South China Sea Code could become a point of contention, potentially destabilizing the region and putting the unity of ASEAN nations at risk. And then there's the wildcard scenario. Unexpected developments, such as a change in leadership or a shift in global politics, could steer the course in a completely unforeseen direction. The future, after all, is a mix of our actions today and the surprises that tomorrow brings. Now, let's circle back to the question from our first scene. Why hasn't President Xi Jinping visited Manila since 2018, despite an invitation? While we can't say for sure, the strained relations between the two countries could be a factor. Or perhaps it's a strategic move, a silent statement in the complex language of international politics. The future of international politics is indeed a complex web. As the story unfolds, we'll see how these scenarios play out, how the South China Sea Code evolves, and what this means for the region and the world. Subscribe for more amazing content and keep wondering about the world around you. Don't miss out on future explorations and discoveries. Hit subscribe and ring the bell to stay updated with our new content. Your journey of wonder continues with every video. Stay connected and engaged on social media. Continue the conversation, follow us. Thank you for being a part of the Have You Ever Wondered community. Keep wondering, keep discovering. Until next time.